Hi, I'm Valeria and welcome to Simply Chic by V, the podcast. This is episode 1 and I am so excited to finally get started. Disclaimer, you might hear a little cooing or crying in the background, and that is my baby girl, Alessandra. She is 5 months old and she has been the reason why I have not yet started this podcast, because back in December I had the idea of doing so, but I have been so busy and was making all these excuses because it is a lot to be a full-time mom. And I just decided I'm never going to have the right timing. So she is here right next to me. I'm filming everything in her nursery and I am ready to get started. So what is Simply Chic by V? I decided to start this podcast because, like I had mentioned, I had just had a baby. She was born in October, and in December I was already thinking that I wanted an outlet or a way of where I can communicate my thoughts and desires and what I had going on, not only as a new mom, but in general as a woman, and everything I was kind of going through and like life experiences. Because as a full-time mom, I find myself with the baby a lot alone at home throughout the day. So I'm not really having a lot of adult conversations. And I was really kind of missing that and just wanting another outlet to be able to do so. So that is where the idea of Simply Chic by V came up. But like I mentioned, I wanted to talk about other topics, expanding much more than just being a mom. Even though being a mom has been the greatest blessing of my life, I was meant to be a mother. I am so excited that God literally gave me this miracle baby. We can make a whole other episode about that, how Alessandra came to be a part of my life. So Simply Chic by V, the idea came that I wanted to find a place where women could come and like just speak on different topics about life, friendship, family, career, being a mom, everything that makes us unique. But I wanted to share a lot of like the different skills and things that I have learned throughout life and just share it with you all. I've realized a lot in my life lately, the more that I communicate and share with people that I meet about different things, we just help one another. The more I meet people, the more they share with me their experiences. It has been able to be helpful towards me, for me. I've never seen this more since I became a new mom. Really, that saying of it takes a village is so true. It really takes a village, a community, people to help you raise your child. I'm so blessed to have a very loving and large family. I have really close friends that have really kind of like just bonded together and been there for me. And I want to recommend for sure, if you're someone that doesn't have that situation, to really try and find community. I just recently became part of a mommy group and I'm so excited because it is other moms with babies around my same age range as Alessandra. And it has been such a blessing and it's been so nice. And I'm actually really surprised because when I started going, I knew I wanted the idea of someone that could relate to me, and that I wanted to do something outside of the house, like an activity with my daughter pretty often, which is the reason I looked for the group. But I didn't realize how much I really needed the group. So that's what I kind of want this podcast to be. I just want it to be a community and a group where women can come together and talk about all the different things that are happening in their lives and how they navigated it and their stories on that, by sharing my experiences on how I navigate through different things of life. And then hopefully we'll have different guests on the podcast that can give us their perspectives on different topics. I also would love for you all to DM or comment and send in questions or topics or ideas so that we can speak on them a little bit further in the future. So how did I even come up with the idea of Chic by V on Instagram as my blog? Basically, if you don't know, I am a content creator. That is the title I use now. Before I would consider myself a blogger. That is Alessandra trying to make some commentary. I started my blog website, which I no longer have active. You can still go and visit it, but I haven't written it in years. And I started it when I graduated college. I went to school for fashion design. And the reason I had started it is because I wanted to stay in the community. I knew that I didn't want to move to New York or California for fashion. I wanted to stay in Miami. And because of that, I knew that I had to be really well connected to the community of the industry here. And I thought blogging would be a perfect opportunity to do that because I would be able to still be connected and go to events, meet people, stay in the industry and be relative, so that when I graduated college, I'd be able to have, that connection and that foot in the door to start my career. I did that and then kind of did stay within the industry. I started my own brand, which I can talk about that in a further podcast episode as well. And that's what led up to the idea of creating the blog. Instagram was becoming really popular, so of course I had to create an Instagram account, but because life became so on the go and hectic and Instagram became so instant, it was so much easier to just post pictures and do stories and then videos and now reels that I haven't really been active on my writing blog. So it's really just my main account where I share different tips and tricks about fashion, travel, now being a mom, and it's just really lifestyle with the emphasis on fashion. I've always given different ideas of like how to dress for less, where you can find certain looks, dressing for your body, different styles and trends, and basically just elaborating on that has been really my focus. And that's what I want to also continue to bring to the podcast, just my experiences of the things that I know and what I can share with all of you guys. So I find it truly interesting or a coincidence that I am launching this podcast during Women's History Month. It is the month of March, and it just happened to have been the case because, I don't know, I feel like it's interesting or kind of like foreshadowing of like the fact that I want this podcast to be all about women and our experiences and our lives. Like I mentioned, on this podcast, we're going to be talking about relationships, friendships, career, travel, being a mom, life, and all the ups and downs that come through this journey. I have really, truly been excited and love the fact that I can help people with whatever questions or topics and concerns that they have. Whether it was about fashion or styling or just life experiences, now I'm a mom, I share different tips and tricks that I have found, which has truly been such a blessing because I have learned so much as a new mom. I am super type A. I love to like do my research. I love to have a plan. I love to have a schedule. And becoming a mom has really taught me a lot of like flexibility, go with the flow. Life is not always like A to Z. There's a lot of gray. And I have been going on that journey for a while now. I think I had a lot of growth because I had done therapy for 2 years, and it really did help me grow a lot. But nothing changes you like becoming a mom, let me tell you. I have learned the importance of community, whether that's family or friends, whether it's old friends or new friends, people from your church, people from school, people from work. It is so important to really kind of build that community. And I think it's also crucial and really important to have people that fit different kind of pockets of your life. So, you can have people that are there for you in senses of like being moms, like my new mommy friends from my Mommy and Me group that understand me in a way that other friends of mine that I've had for years don't necessarily understand. Or even moms that I have that have kids, but maybe their kids are a little bit older, they're in a different season. So having friendships that fit into those seasons are so important, as well as having, those hardcore long-term friendships that'll be with you for years. I actually have 3 really good friends that we have been friends for over 15 years, which is kind of crazy because I feel like that ages me a bit. But they are some really true ride or die friends. We have been there for each other through so much. And those are things that I want to also talk about. I think this is also true and very important in career. I think you have people in different careers that you choose to kind of build those relationships with and maintain over time. And I think it's really important to always leave the door open with anything in your job or career-wise. You always want to leave on like a good foot. You always want to have opportunities to come back or to stay connected because you never know in life who you are going to meet and how you can help each other in the future or how they can help you or you can help them. I think that is so important. Alessandra is like agreeing, like, yeah, mom, so important. It is so important to have good relationships in general with everybody. And that's not to say that you're going to love everybody that you come across with in life, but I think it's important to just keep good relationships because, like I said, you never know when you're going to need that helping hand or when you can be that helping hand to someone else. And I think that's really, really important to keep in mind. Time for a water break. Another thing we can definitely talk about, I just drank from my Simple, I don't even know what these are called. Simple something. I'll insert somewhere what it's called. Oh, Simple Modern. Yeah, see, mommy? I'm so sorry for all of her cooing. She's very communicative right now. Uh-oh. She's in her crib. So we can make a whole podcast about water bottles. And it's so funny because the other day I was cracking up listening to my cousin-in-law. She has her own podcast called Sincerely Elaine and Jordy. You literally have to go watch it. It's hear it. It is hilarious. And as millennials, it's true, we have some weird obsession about water bottles and hydration, but I got super into it when I got pregnant because I was like told how much I need to drink hot water. I was pregnant during the summer. Not cute. It was rough. Yeah, mama. So I was pregnant during the summer. It was really rough. Alessandra is not going to let me continue to this podcast. So Alessandra decided to join the podcast because she's been cooing and crying. And she just wants mommy to pick her up. Yeah? I was mentioning that as millennials, we have this obsession with water bottles. And I got super into hydration when I was pregnant because I had to drink a lot of water. And I was pregnant in the summer, which was not cute. No, it was not. And I became obsessed with drinking water. So I had the simple modern water bottle at first, and I loved it. But then Stanley's became a thing, and I was like, oh my God, I need to get a Stanley like ASAP. And I wanted to drink like a lot of water, and I wanted it to fit in my cup holder and all of the above. So I got a Stanley, and I loved it for like forever. And then I had her. And then I realized Stanley is made for non-mommies, huh? For women that don't have mommies or that don't have mommies. Women that don't have babies that are not on the go because Stanleys tip over and leak. And with a baby that grabs everything, you need a water bottle that doesn't leak. So right now I'm already in between like researching what other water bottle I want to get. So Hydro Jug and the other one starts with an A, Al something, are the two competitors. So let me know which one do you like, if you've tried both, what your thoughts are. But I'm in need of one. And if my husband is watching or listening to this podcast right now, he's literally telling me you don't need another water bottle because I think I have like, I'm not kidding, I think I have maybe 10. And half of those have also been like custom water bottles that I got like when we got engaged, when I got married, because my cousin also like does all of those things on like her Etsy Cricut machines that she has of like heat pressing, and I have a lot of water bottles is what I'm trying to say, and I don't need another one, but I actually do because I need one that fits my lifestyle now. Right, mommy? So I'm still breastfeeding, so I do need to drink lots and lots of water, which is the reason that I do like a lot my Stanley, because I have the 40-ounce one and it makes it much easier to drink a lot of water. With the simple modern one, it's a little bit complicated because it doesn't hold as much. I have to be refilling it as often, and I feel like I don't have time for that, or I forget, so I don't drink as much as I could. So that's what I need. I need a large water bottle that doesn't leak, that doesn't have exposure of the straw, because now everything has like germs and I'm trying to keep things clean for the baby. And one thing I like about the Hydro Jug is like the bottom is soft, so like it doesn't make noise if I like bang it. And that's something that's important to me now because I don't want to startle her, for sure. ¿Qué pasó? Salud. ¿Ya pasó? So another topic we can definitely talk about on the podcast is language. So I am Hispanic. I'm second generation Hispanic, and so is my husband. And we want to teach our daughter Spanish for sure at the house. And we want it to be her first language. So we are actually only speaking to her in Spanish. My husband and I speak to each other in English. We're going to continue to speak to each other in English because we know she'll pick that up too. And eventually, like, you know, with TV or radio or music or movies, like she'll pick up English even before she's in school. But we wanted to make sure that she is learning Spanish. She just loves the camera. So that is something. Oh, qué gasecito, mama. Qué rico. So that's just something we're going to be doing. A lot of the books that we have for her are in English and in Spanish. We tried to buy some of the same books in 2 languages, which has been funny now that we've been having story time, is to see the translations. Some of these translations are like not that great. And sometimes Nico and I look at each other and we're like questioning our own Spanish. Also because, so my mom's Colombian and my father's Cuban and Nico's parents are Peruvian. So there's different words, you know, in Latin culture that are different, even though we all speak Spanish. So when we read the book, sometimes we're like, that's not how you say that word, or that's not how you translate that. And we're like laughing at each other. So it's like, I feel like our Spanish is going to get better as we teach her Spanish. ¿Verdad, mami? ¿Verdad? Okay, I think it's time for nap time. I feel like we covered a lot of different topics just like sprinkled on top. It wasn't really, we didn't go too deep into anything. But like I said, We're going to talk about a bunch of different topics in all the podcasts. Stay tuned for guests, for all the things that are going to be happening. I will let you know which topics we're going to talk about. And of course, whatever you send in as DMs, comments, that is what we will be focusing on first, to answer all your questions and to discuss all of your favorite topics, whether that's travel, being a mom, career, work-wise, or just juggling things in life that life gets thrown at you. Because let me tell you, there's a bunch. Okay, bye-bye. Say bye. I can say adios. Adios. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram as Chic by V. Bye.